Welcome to ZU, the podcast of Zeppelin University, between business, culture and politics.
Welcome to a new episode of Zeppelin University's international podcast. Zeppelin University, in the middle of Europe, embedded in a three-country corner, sees itself as an open-minded think tank with a focus on international cooperations. From incoming students sharing their academic and personal stories when coming to Germany, to outgoing students at our partner universities all over the world. Join us as we celebrate the richness of our global family, one conversation at a time. My name is Nina from the International Office. Today I have with me my colleague Birgit, head of the Admissions Office. Welcome, Birgit.
Thank you, Nina, for having me.
And now a special welcome to today's guest, Navin. Hello, Navin.
Hi, Nina. Thank you so much for having me over today.
Navin is pursuing his master's in international relations here at ZU, and we are thrilled to have him with us today. So, Navin, tell us, where do you come from and what made you do your master's abroad?
Well, I come from a typical middle-class family from Mumbai, India. And growing up, I saw those Western movies and I always had the dream of going abroad. And the best chance, I thought, for me would be to pursue a master's degree abroad. And this seemed at the time a bit impossible because I had dyslexia and ADHD, and studying was not my favorite time. My mother literally had to force me to sit down and study. So, during my bachelor's, I was pursuing psychology, and still I had not decided what I wanted to do with my life. And one thing led to another, and I stumbled into international relations. I luckily found an internship and found my mentor at that internship within this field, and he had done 2 of his masters abroad. So following in his footsteps, I decided to apply for different universities abroad.
And what made you choose Germany in the end?
My parents' financial situation was my primary concern in selecting the country I wanted to study in. And Germany, as it's not a common destinations among Indian students to go study abroad, was something I found to be relatively cheaper and very exciting. So Germany was my choice.
Okay. How did you learn then about ZU finally?
Well, I had a very specific criteria about looking for a university in Germany. It had to have a 2 years master course in international relations and global politics. Second, it had to be a completely English-speaking course because at that time my German skills were not that good. And there were very few universities in Germany that fit this bill. So ZU was among a very short list of universities I applied to.
Okay, and so you went through our assessment center. How did you feel before that?
Well, of course, I was nervous. My dream was about to come true, so I was definitely nervous. But I never felt alone because I had Bridget there to help me out if I had troubles. And luckily, the procedure itself was very structured, so I did not need much help going in there.
Well, ZU has a special format for admissions and its assessment center. Can you tell us a little bit more about it, Birgit?
Yeah, sure. I'd love to. Actually, I believe that assessment center, it's a bit of a harsh word. I would call it selection day or getting to know one another day, is fairly unique in Germany. Once our international students have submitted their application, they have a lot of questions about this assessment center. We guide them towards this day, which is a full-day program that starts with group work with all our applicants. They come together and they get a case study. We form groups of 4 mostly, and they look for solutions. The case studies come from business, culture, or politics and are presented by an external member. After that, our applicants have to go through tests, math and English. And in the afternoon, we have a program point which makes the heart of selection day. They speak to 2 committees They are put together with professors, external committee members, current students, and our research staff, a member of our research staff. And a combination of this entire day then forms basically the result. If everything went well, they will be welcomed at ZU, and if things did not go so well on this day for an applicant, they can try again to apply for another semester.
Okay, Navin, how did it go for you?
Well, looking back at it, it was pretty good. But at that time, a tragedy occurred. I did not convert the time zones correctly. So I received the timing in the Central European Standard Time, and I had to convert that to Indian Standard Time. But because daylight savings times had recently changed, I miscalculated that time zone. And I was 20 minutes into my interview time, and I still wasn't online. I saw an email from Visitor, and she told me, like, where are you? Like, your interview is right now. Where the hell are you? And I freaked out. I ran to my PC and I just really jumped onto my laptop and just logged in and got the interview done. Really, if it wasn't for your visit, I would not have been in this university or even in Germany at this point.
Okay, we are very happy it worked out after all. Yeah.
Definitely. So after mastering that, what were your challenges before coming to Germany?
Well, luckily I got accepted to this university, and then the paperwork process began. Of course, it was very stressful, the visa process, but it went relatively smoothly for me because I had gotten accepted to the university quite a while before the visa deadline or the time I had to come here. So I had enough room or enough time to get the visa. But I've heard some horror stories from my friends for whom it did not go so well. So I consider myself to be lucky in the visa procurement process. But a place where I did have a really hard time was apartment hunting. For me, that time was literal hell. And thankfully, I received some help from the university and the people who work here. And eventually, I got the apartment. And that was such a relief.
Well, we are happy that it worked out for you finally. I know that lots of our international students face the same problem, administrative problems and apartment hunting problems. So this is why we have established a buddy system. Birgit, do you want to tell us a little bit more?
Sure. Actually, Navin was one of our first international students. I believe actually you are holding the flag for being the first international full-time student at Zeppelin University. So we are still going quite through a process of learning ourselves, and we are getting experiences from our current full-time students. But what we learned quickly is that before they arrive in Germany, we have to build a support system and give them some help in finding accommodations, possibly making runs to German authorities, opening a bank account, or just have someone in place who helps them find their path to ZU. And therefore, we established a buddy system, and we assign at least one German current student for support who knows Germany, apartment hunting in and out. And then now, in the meantime, we also try to find an international student to support as well, who has experience in the visa process and all the difficulties that Navin had to experience on his own before he made it to ZU.
I'm so happy that my experiences ensures that future students don't have to go through this.
Yeah, we are too.
Well, you made it to ZU, and how did your student life start?
Well, it began with parties, of course. The first week, in fact, at Zeppelin University was the orientation week, where the new incoming students are getting introduced to the university and the city of Friedrichshafen. And it was organized by the Student Lounge. They are a body that look into all the student initiatives at this university. And they had an opening in their events team. the team that organizes these parties. So the first thing I did was send an email applying for that position. And Hagen, the head of Student Lounge at the time, I met him and he told me, the first thing you do, you come to Germany, you come to the university and apply to organize parties. So I was like, yeah, I've been partying a lot. Now I want to organize them. It sounds fun.
And did you get the job?
Yes, I did. In fact, it was my experiences during the orientation week that kind of helped me get that job, because I learned some, fancy German words, some words that are usually used during parties. And I used those words during my application, and that impressed a lot of people and got me a lot of votes. And I secured my position.
What kind of words?
Well, for starters, it was Heide Bim Bam.
Okay, that is a very local Schwäbisch word, and it can be interpreted in many different ways.
Yeah, I did not know what it meant at the time. Can you tell me what it means? I still do not know.
Well, it's kind of somewhat an expression of anger, and it also says, we do it my way or no way. You just knock your fist on the table and you just do it your way. That's basically what it means. So, yeah. And you asserted yourself and you got the job. So it worked, obviously. It all went very well.
But is there anything else you do besides partying or organize parties right now?
That's what my parents ask me as well. Well, yeah, I was also elected to be the student representative of my master's program. I got the most votes there as well. And I kind of worked with my program director to ensure, for example, certain subjects that were not already included in the program, that they should be included in the future. I worked with my fellow students in order to recognize and identify these subjects that they want to be introduced and what kind of guest lecturers they would like at the university. There was also the desire from the students for more female professors within our master's program, which also was made possible right now because the chair of international relations is now a female professor. So this was a bit more on the administrative and an academic side.
I kind of like this feature because it shows that students at Zeppelin University are very engaged and they help to improve certain aspects of the programs, and the work with our staff, our professors, and also our research members is very, very close. And it shows that students can have an influence on future development. I think that's really a great feature here.
Definitely, that was a complete surprise for me, because this kind of interaction with the professors and the kind of influence that students have on their own study program is quite unique to this program at this university.
Yeah, we feel so too. So what about your academic life, Navin? What do you enjoy most? Do you have any favorite courses? What about the content of your study program?
Well, when I first came into the university, I was quite surprised about how much I did not know. I did a postgraduate diploma in this field, and the courses here surprised me. And I immediately started looking into what I have not learned yet and what I wanted to get more deeper knowledge into. So that was my course selection mindset, and it was really interesting. In the past 3 semesters, I've learned so much. One thing that I really enjoyed was psychology of international diplomacy, taught by Professor Koshud. This specifically because I had studied psychology before, but my friends were kind of hoping that I had a future in psychology. And I myself struggled in leaving that field because I really enjoyed that field. And to discover that I could do psychology with international relations, that blew me out of the water. And I was really excited for this course. And I did amazingly well, and I enjoyed the course a lot. And one other thing that I really liked was research methods and design, specifically using softwares like R and Python in social sciences. because I had also had prior experience of computing languages, and my mother really wanted me to continue in the science field. But to her disappointment, I left it. And when I told her that I'm finally doing that again, I'm coding again, she was again really happy. So this program kind of allowed me to bring up my past experiences that I thought I would never use again, and to use them now within this new field. So I believe I'm at the perfect place at the perfect time.
Sounds wonderful. So do you have future plans already?
Well, in the past 2 years, I have kind of fallen in love with Germany, and I wish to continue living here and working here. And in fact, the chair of international relations is looking for a research advisor. So at this university, so I'm planning on applying for it as well. So hopefully I might be able to be at Zeppelin University a bit longer.
We surely would enjoy that. And then you would become the best buddy for our new full-time students trying to make it to Germany with the best experience we can look for.
Definitely. I would really love that.
Well, this brings us to the end of this international podcast episode. Thank you, Navin, for sharing your experiences. And thank you, Birgit, for your valuable information on ZU admission procedures and the buddy system.
Thank you.
We hope you enjoyed learning more about ZU and its global community. Stay tuned for the next international podcast episode. Take care and thank you for listening.
Thank you for listening to ZU, the podcast of Zeppelin University. All information about our degree programs and research areas can be found on the internet at zu.de. We are looking forward to your visit and say, see you next time.